A wage loss claim is a claim for an individual's loss of income or loss of wages due to injuries which they sustained or received in an automobile accident. And these wage loss benefits are available for the first 3 years after the accident occurred. It is determined under the NoFault Act how much an injured person can receive for a wage loss claim. And basically it's computed by multiplying 85% times the person's weekly or biweekly or monthly wage rate. In certain situations with self-employed individuals, there may be more involved in computing what their actual loss of income is. The type of forms that are necessary to send to the insurance company in order to get paid your wage loss benefits are a wage loss authorization, which will allow the insurance company to obtain your wage and employment records. Additionally, many times to speed up the process, something called a wage verification form can be sent by the attorney or by the injured person to the employer, and the employer will complete the form, which will detail what their earnings were before the accident. Additionally, a disability form from the doctor or disability note from the doctor will be necessary for the insurance company to pay the wage loss benefits. A person can receive wage loss benefits for the first 3 years after the accident if they sustained the loss of income as a result of injuries from the accident. Now, many times, even if an individual is released back to work, if they lost their job and they're looking for work, they're still entitled to get the wage loss benefits while they're looking for work, even if they're no longer disabled. A person who's a seasonal employee, such as someone who cuts grass or plows snow, is still entitled to receive wage loss benefits. And they are entitled to receive 85% of what their loss of wages is, or loss of income is, as a result of the accident. Now, insurance companies, sometimes they figure out two different ways. In one situation, they will pay wage loss during the period that the seasonal employee is working. So, for example, if they work from April through October, they would get their wage loss benefits during that time period. The other type of way that an insurance company computes it is they average their income over the whole year, and they pay a wage loss benefit over the whole year while they are disabled from working. If a person is not employed at the time that the automobile accident occurred and they're injured, yes, they can make a claim for wage loss benefits. And there's two basic situations where the person can receive wage loss benefits. The first is if they're not employed at all and they're looking for work, and that's called temporarily unemployed. And in that situation, the person receives wage loss benefits based upon their last 30 days of employment. The second situation is if they're not employed, but there's a specific offer of employment down the road. For example, you may have someone who's a college student who is going to be graduating in a year. They're not looking for work, but once they graduate, there's a specific offer for employment, and they'd be entitled to receive wage loss benefits based upon this specific offer of employment that was made to them. A wage loss claim ends after 3 years. An injured person is entitled to receive wage loss benefits for the first 3 years after the accident. But a person can still get wage loss even if their disability has ended. So, for example, if someone is injured in an accident and they're off work for a year, and the doctor releases them back to work, but their job is no longer there, the injured person can still receive benefits, wage loss benefits, while they're looking for new employment. If your doctor releases you back to work, you can still make a wage loss claim even if you're no longer disabled. If your job that you had before the accident is gone and you can't go back to it, you're entitled to get wage loss benefits while you're looking for work. If you do find a job and the job does not pay as much money as you were earning before the accident, you're entitled to get what's called a wage loss differential, which is the difference in income that you were earning before the accident and what you were earning after the accident. If a person is released back to work who's been injured, but they've been released back to their job with restrictions, or they've been released with restrictions and they can't go back to their old job because of the restrictions, the person is still entitled to receive wage loss from the insurance company. So, for example, if a person is making half the amount of money as a result of the restrictions from their injuries from the accident, they're entitled to get what is called a wage loss differential, which is the difference between what they were earning before the accident and what they're earning after the accident. And this wage loss differential is available up to the first 3 years after the accident to the injured person.